Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're talking about a massive upgrade for your family SUV, the roof rack. You know, you can really think of a roof rack as basically a second trunk for your vehicle. But here's the catch, and it's a big one. Making the wrong choice here, it completely kills your gas mileage, adds just an unbearable amount of wind noise to your cabin, and honestly, worse than all of that, it puts your expensive gear at risk.
Okay, let's dive into this because I want you to picture this incredibly relatable nightmare. You buy a $199 cheap Amazon rack, you strap your cargo box on it, and you head to Myrtle Beach with the family, right? Standard road trip. But by the time you hit 65 miles per hour on the highway, the whole roof just starts humming. And I don't mean a little hum, it's like a giant kazoo. The kids are in the back asking if the car is broken. Your partner has a headache by hour 2, and when you finally pull over for gas, you realize the cheap rubber strip on the bars has actually already peeled halfway off.
Yeah, that is exactly the situation we want to avoid for your SUV. So in this explainer, we're going to look at the absolute top 5 rack systems for 2026 to make sure you get this right. Right off the bat, the data reveals a premium rack that actually saves you 2 miles per gallon on a road trip compared to those cheap bars. Plus, we'll uncover a really fatal installation mistake that will literally crack your roof trim if you do it wrong.
So here is our roadmap for today. We're covering 1. The roof rack reality check. 2. Specialty and budget picks. 3. Low profile and smart. 4. The ultimate benchmark rack. 5. 4 fatal installation mistakes. And finally, 6. The final verdict.
Section 2. Specialty and budget picks. Looking at rocks number 5 and number 4.
Coming in at number 5 is the absolute heavyweight of the group, the Rhino-Rack Pioneer platform. Now this isn't just your standard crossbar, it's an entire heavy-duty flat deck for your SUV. It features over 90 different accessories, so if you're the kind of dad who is already planning to mount a rooftop tent next summer, or you want to easily bolt on a cargo basket, a bike carrier, and a shovel holder, literally all at the exact same time, this is your end game for sure.
Diving into the hardcore specs here, it definitely costs a premium. You're looking at between $1,200 and $1,400 all in. And because it's essentially a giant flat slab up there, it will permanently cost you 1 to 2 miles per gallon. But get this. Surprisingly, the plank design actually disrupts airflow in a way that makes it quieter than cheap square bars. It holds a massive 330 pounds dynamically while driving on the road and takes roughly 50 to 60 minutes to install with 2 people.
Let's move to and see how this builds into our number 4 spot, which stands out as the ultimate value pick in the source material, the INNO Aero base. INNO is a Japanese brand that's honestly been around forever, and this system is a surprisingly quiet budget pick that just doesn't sound or look like a budget pick. For a fraction of the cost, you are getting 80% of that premium rack experience, completely avoiding that terrible wind noise. Checking out the specs on this one, for a total of around $430 to $480, it gives you a 165-pound capacity. Honestly, that matches the factory roof limit of most SUVs anyway. Plus, it installs in just 20 minutes using 4 really simple torque knobs. It is the absolute perfect value buy to dodge the cheap Amazon kazoo effect while also getting a reliable, limited lifetime warranty.
Moving on to low profile and smart, racks number 3 and number 2.
Presenting rack number 3, the sleeper pick that literally looks like it came straight from the factory, the Rhino-Rack Vortex StealthBar. Ranging from $530 to $650, this is widely recognized as the ultimate OEM plus pick. It hugs your roof rail so tightly that it actually sits 1.5 inches lower than competitors. And trust me, that inch really matters when you're trying to clear a low garage with a cargo box on top. Plus, in decibel testing, this stealthy design remained 3 to 4 decibels quieter than standard square bars.
At number 2, we have the Yakima JetStream, ranging from $590 to $680. You know, if Thule is the iPhone of roof racks, Yakima is the Android that audio nerds absolutely obsess over. Its JetFlow teardrop shape makes it so library quiet at 70 miles per hour, you'll seriously forget it's even up there. And another huge bonus, its smart fill rubber strip in the T-slot means you never have to cut the rubber, which saves you about 10 minutes every single time you swap your accessories from, say, a cargo box to a ski carrier.
And now, the ultimate benchmark rack number 1.
So, the crucial point is this 1.5 miles per gallon figure. Remember that open loop from the beginning of our explainer? The source data shows our number 1 pick actually saved 1.5 miles per gallon compared to cheap square bars on a 500-mile road trip. To put that into perspective, that's roughly 8 whole gallons of gas saved, just by choosing the right aerodynamic design.
Taking the number 1 spot is the Thule WingBar Evo. This is the absolute industry reference point. Literally every other rack out there is just trying to be this quiet and this strong. It features a stupid strong extruded aluminum box beam interior that keeps it incredibly rigid, and it boasts universal accessory compatibility. Virtually any brand's gear will lock seamlessly right into this setup.
At around $650, yes, it is the most expensive complete system, but consider what you're actually getting here. Library quiet performance, real gas savings, an incredibly high 220-pound bar strength, and massive resale value. People actively search for used Thule racks all the time. If you plan to keep your SUV for years and use the rack just a few times a season, it is absolutely worth the investment for sure.
Now, let's pivot to 4 fatal installation mistakes. Mistake number 1 is mixing up your dynamic and static weights. This is huge. The dynamic weight is your driving limit on the road, usually maxing out at around 165 pounds for a standard SUV at 60 miles per hour. Listen, if you overload this while driving, it's illegal and highly dangerous. Your static weight, on the other hand, well, that's the limit when your car is completely parked safely at the campsite.
And this brilliantly illustrates that concept. Because the static rating is often over 600 pounds, a parked car can safely support a heavy rooftop tent, 2 adults, and a kid, all at the same time. You just can't drive with that much weight up there. Understanding this difference is absolutely critical for family safety.
Mistake number 2 is overhead clearance. You have to calculate that a rack and a cargo box will add roughly 8 to 10 inches to your vehicle's height. Don't be like the dad who drove his 69-inch Ford Explorer into a 72-inch hospital parking garage and ripped a $300 cargo box clean off the roof. Always measure your new overhead clearance before you drive.
Mistake number 3 is messing up the overhang and spread by simply buying the wrong bar length or foot type for your specific naked or raised rail roof. Think about it. If you buy 70-inch bars for a narrow SUV, you are going to severely hit your head on them every single time you load the kids into the back seat. The rule here is simple. Never guess. Strictly use the official fit guides provided by the brands for your exact make and model.
Now, what's really interesting here is the torque tool, and this closes our final open loop. If you ignore the provided torque tool that comes with these premium racks, and you overcrank the mounting feet onto your roof, you will literally dimple the metal and deform your weather strip. The result? A $400 dealer fix for a massive water leak. When the torque indicator clicks, stop tightening.
Which brings us to section 6, the final verdict.
So let's break it down. If you are a family on a budget but you still want incredible quality and a quiet ride, you should grab the INNO Aero base for around $430. Now, if you are an extreme camper building an adventure rig, you absolutely need the Rhino-Rack Pioneer platform. But for almost everyone else, anyone who wants the absolute quietest, most robust benchmark system that will perform flawlessly for years, you should pay the premium for the Thule WingBar Evo.
So I'll leave you with this final thought to consider. What kind of road tripper are you? And which setup will crown your family SUV this summer? Take a moment to evaluate your own SUV needs, check those dynamic weight limits in your manual, and get ready to optimize your vehicle's cargo setup safely. Thanks for learning with me today, and safe travels on your next big trip.